Welcome to the Rough House, as we'll now get ready to start talking some Calgary Roughnecks lacrosse here. So stay tuned here. This is the very first episode of Hi there, it's Brett Hornby here. Welcome to the first episode of my Calgary Roughnecks this month. This is similar to the formats that I've used to cover all of Calgary's other sports teams. My Calgary Stampeders this month, as well as both the hockey teams, where I cover the Calgary Hitmen and Calgary Flames in regular 6 or 4 game segments, depending on where they are in the schedule. So it's a very similar format where I recap. So if you enjoy that, plus my other scenery videos or moments at sporting events or any musical entertainment, just make sure you hit like, subscribe, and follow me on YouTube here. So anyway, it's time to get this series going, which is my Calgary Roughnecks this month. As just like with football, lacrosse, they play a game every week, so I figure I'll do a recap video every month here, similar to that format, which I've done with my Calgary Stampeders this month. But if you did watch my season ticket unveiling package video there a few weeks ago, when I was going over the package there, I wasn't aware of it, but when it got delivered, there was some uncertainty with the CBA and Players Association. And at the time when I recorded my video for going over my season ticket package, the NLL, the National Lacrosse League, they actually canceled the preseason training camp and actually the first 2 weeks of the regular season at the time. And there was some uncertainty and doom and gloom there, and I just felt, considering how much the NLL is growing in terms of coverage and revenue, and I mean, these players don't make money where they can totally live off of it, but they were trying to get the best deal possible, and any prolonged work stoppage would definitely devastate the NLL, because they're definitely not in the class with the Big Four or maybe Big Five if you count the MLS in there. So anyway, there was still uncertainty there, but 2 weeks ago when I was up in Edmonton for the 106th Grey Cup, I actually got a notification that the NLL and the Players Association came to an agreement. It's a 5-year agreement, so that there will be lacrosse this year, which is definitely a good thing. Because gives me something to look forward to, and taking Canada's other national sports. I mean, obviously we're obsessed with hockey here in Canada and Hockey Night in Canada, but lacrosse originally was the national sports for Canada, and it's definitely nice to kind of a blend of hockey and football, and this is what you get. And then recently the league expanded to 11 teams, with the Philadelphia Wings rejoining the league and the San Diego Seals there. So I just figured that for the first episode here, I'll just give a little update and look ahead to see what's ahead in December here. And as it turned out, after the agreement here, they still had a training camp, and the Roughnecks, had different plans for a preseason game, but there'll still be an 18-game regular season as originally planned. And when you look at my season ticket package there, for the home games at least, none of the games have changed or been affected. There was a few other tweaks in the schedule for on the road there that I'll go over here when I go over my notes here. But anyway, let's bring on the like Calgary Roughnecks this month here. I'll consider this episode 1. I'll just call it CBA and updates here. The next episode, I'll call it for December 2018, which I'll do that at the end of December after the Roughnecks have played their games for December here. So as with my other videos here, I've been using Google Docs to make my notes on the go, and I bring it up here when it's time here. So as I say, this completes my Calgary sports coverage here with my spin-off from other shows here, and as I mentioned, on this 5-year agreement with the CBA here, and of course it happened when I was up in Edmonton here, and I'm sort of still playing catch up here with my my videos here in terms of this plus my Calgary Stampeders this month, and all the logistics involved with you going on holidays, coming back. But then unfortunately I was battling a cough and cold here, but we're not quite in the regular season yet. But basically with this modified schedule here, training camp started on Friday, November the 30th, and the first preseason game that the Calgary Roughnecks played was going to be, originally it was planned to be on Saturday, November the 24th. They would have taken on the Saskatchewan Rush at the Saddledome, but unfortunately that game did get cancelled as when I went over my ticket package, and me personally, I would have missed that game because as I mentioned, I was up in Edmonton for the 106th Grey Cup because I needed to encourage another Calgary team to win a game, and spoiler alert, they did, and you can go see that video when I get to make that video. So that game got cancelled, and the other game that kind of got rescheduled was that preseason game. They still played the Saskatchewan Rush, but in Saskatchewan at the SaskGal Tenor. That was a 7 p.m. puck ball drop, and that happened was happening on Saturday, December 8th. So that'll be the preseason game that both the Roughnecks and Rush were going to play. But this time, that game was going to be played in Saskatoon there. But they would have missed that game. But let's see what the Roughnecks can do with the Rush here as they're defending champions here. And then the other game that got rescheduled was that originally as planned on Saturday, December the 1st. The Calgary Roughnecks would have started the season in Colorado, taking on the Colorado Mammoth. But that game now got rescheduled to Sunday, January the 6th. So you'll see that when I get to my January video here. And so the home opener is still, everything is planned here. And another thing I should add in here is that the Calgary Roughnecks, they signed Rice Dutch to a 1-year deal to actually add some more scoring to the roster here. As this guy's a 32-year-old, he was from Victoria, and he played his entire NL career with the Stealth franchise, which they played out of San Jose, Everett, Washington, and then Vancouver. And that Vancouver franchise got rebranded as when the Vancouver Canucks, I think it's still the Orchid Bay Entertainment, bought the team there, and they were Vancouver Stealth the last couple of years, played out of Langley Event Center in Langley, which is out east in the Metro Vancouver. But the Vancouver, they're now going to be called the Vancouver Warriors, will be playing at the Rogers Arena, Vancouver, where the Canucks play. So this is where Rise Douche originally played, and give his career numbers here. 160 games here. He has 351 goals, 477 assists for 838 points, and then in 12 playoff games, he has 30 goals, 37 assists for 67 points here. So I figure he'll definitely fit in nicely with guys like Dane Dombey, Curtis Superman Dixon, Wesley Berg. Our offense is definitely going to look pretty good here for the Roughnecks here for the season here. So I just figure he'd be a nice depth pickup for the Calgary Roughnecks here. So now, as I mentioned, the preseason game got rescheduled for December 8th here. But now the regular season for the Calgary Roughnecks will start on Saturday, December 15th, as originally planned. This will be now week 1 of the regular season, as the Calgary Roughnecks will be taking on the rebranded Vancouver Warriors at 7 p.m. ball drop at the Scotiabank Saddledome. And I believe week 2 we were going to play the Warriors in Vancouver, and I think that game got rescheduled. But now week 2, on Friday, December the 21st, the Calgary Roughnecks will be taking on the Vancouver Warriors again, but this time at the Rogers Arena with an 8 p.m. ball drop there. So back and back here, and maybe build up some rivalry with Vancouver here, the rebranded Stealth, now the Warriors here. Let's see, if we can get just as heated with the Roughnecks and Warriors as, let's say, the Flames and Canucks here. But we'll see. I mean, the Rush used to be the Edmonton Rush, but then for some reason the Oilers didn't want to buy the Rush, and they couldn't come to an agreement when they moved from Rexall Place to Rogers Place up in Edmonton there. So Saskatchewan bought them, and they play in the Saskatell Center in Saskatoon, where the Blades also play there in the WHL, and they bought the Rush, and they were still at the top of their game. And as I mentioned, they're defending champions, and they lost in the final the year before, and the Saskatchewan fans are just as proud as Rider fans, with their lacrosse team. I mean, maybe Saskatchewan's a slowly growing market that they can show they can support a reasonably priced professional team here. Anyway, let's get back to the schedule here. Week 3, the last game in December here, will be on Friday, December 28th. This will be the only Friday night game, home game, that the Calgary Roughnecks will play in the 18-19 NLL season. We'll be taking on the newly formed San Diego Seals. And this will be at the Scotiabank Saddledome with the 7 p.m. ball drop here. So basically, all this video was for the Calgary Roughnecks here is just basically give a little update here, and start adding some videos to that playlist and make use of my intro that I made for the Calgary Roughnecks this month. But as I'll do a recap of every game that was played in the month, and I mean, this is episode 1, which was basically excuse me, a CBA and update video, which I felt I needed to do that for the first episode, given that there was some uncertainty and a little bit of labor and rest, and had to make a few modifications to get a CBA signed, and a few things got rescheduled. So I figured this will be the good first episode to get the Calgary Roughnecks series going, and look ahead to the December schedule here. So as I say, if you enjoy everything I do on my YouTube channel, just make sure you hit like, subscribe, and go next go, and see you at the Rough House when we get going on Saturday, December the 15th. And looking forward to this being my first official season as a season ticket holder, because I've tried to go to a game, at least one game in the past, and I find it's definitely quite an interesting and unique experience. I mean, you're in and out within two and a half hours. The music is going the whole time that the play is going. That's different between hockey. I mean, I did my review, if you go back to a couple episodes on my Calgary Hitmen in 6, where there was that Roughnecks night, where they simulated a Calgary Roughnecks game, a Calgary Hitmen game. I mean, it was definitely different to continue to have music playing during the play, but I gave my review on that in that game. I believe that was episode, I think that was episode 4 or 5, whereabouts that is, if I remember there. No, this will definitely be episode 3 or 4, actually. So you have to go back in that series and find the Calgary Roughnecks game there, for the Roughnecks night. But that it's definitely a unique experience, and after a while there, I mean, between my schedule, I was also used to work at the St. Trojan games as a minor official, and a lot of games happen in the winter there, especially on the weekends, Friday and Saturday nights. So that's why I didn't go to a few games there for a few years there. But last year I went to 6 out of 9 home games, and I figured, well, why not just get season tickets, and I took advantage of my fact that I have an existing Stampeders season ticket holder, and actually I got 25% discount with my Roughnecks tickets because I'm a Calgary Stampeders season ticket holder, which it's all great about, having the Calgary Flames and Sport Entertainment owning all the teams, and those are all the Calgary teams that I cover here in my series here, and cross promotion here, because as I cover all these Calgary sports teams. That I'm a fan of all the teams, and I'm able to afford to go to mostly Stampeders and Roughneck games, given schedule and cost there, and a little less commitment to go to a season ticket there. But as I say, I'm off a little bit of a tangent here, but as I say, that's what the gist of my YouTube channel here, and I say, go Roughnecks go, or go Necks go, and I'll see you in the next video here.